this is Cheri at djsundry.blogspot.com, and I have some graduation cards that I want to make. Now, for these particular graduates, I am making masculine cards. I have 3 male graduates that I need to give cards for, and those are just the ones I could think of off the top of my head. So because each one was going to take 2 pieces, or I could get 2 on 1 piece of paper, I decided to go ahead and make 1 extra one so that I would have it just in case another announcement comes through. So I pulled this Safari Chic stack, and this is from Die Cuts with a View, and this is a textured cardstock. And it's one-sided, and it's thinner than normal heavyweight cardstock anyway. It's just not a real thick cardstock, but it has almost kind of a canvas feel. And I will show you in a minute which 2 papers I chose from that. Then I chose from Hero Arts. I have these all occasion messages, and the one that I used, or I plan to use, is this that says congratulations. I have maybe some graduation ones. I can't remember for sure if I even have any graduation stamps. If I do, very limited. But the way I'm doing this card, congratulations was just fine. So I pulled that. And then I pulled out my Cricut Art Philosophy cartridge. I've not been using the Cricut much lately. So although today I'm doing several different videos, even though you'll see them spaced out, and this is actually the second set of cards that I've used the Cricut for, but this one I used Art Philosophy, and I am kind of doubling up a card. I liked this one right here, which this is page 58, and I chose the card features, and I actually used both cards, and I'm combining them both cards into one. And how I did that is I chose which one I wanted to be my base card, and that was the one that looks almost like a top, it's got kind of like a parenthesis on one side, and then the back side is just straight, and that's my base card. So I set that up, and I just kind of played with it in the Cricut craft room on the mat until it looked like it was going to be about an A2 size card. Now I'll be honest with you, I haven't put these in my envelopes yet, so I hope it really is A2 size. And then what I did is I took the other card in here, which is a set of parentheses, and I played with the size of it until it fit so that it layers on top of it, and you'll see that in a minute. Now the other papers that I used, I'm doing 2 different cards here. I used this green, which is from Basil, and I cut the paper before I thought to look at what the color was. I just barely remembered to even look at what type of paper it was, but it's Basil, and it's textured on one side and the other side is smooth, and it's this really pretty, almost I don't know what you would call it, maybe like a avocado, lighter than an avocado, I don't know, but it's just this really pretty green. And then the other one that I chose is this brown, and I don't know who this is by. I'm guessing it's it may be Coordinations, I don't know, but it was the closest match that I had, so that's what I chose. And then the other 2 things that I'm going to be using is the cream ribbon from 3 Girl Jam, and this is one of the new releases that just came out within the last month or so, and it's from the coffee bundle, and it comes with latte, but the cream was the best match for me. I'm also using vintage cream cardstock from Paper Tray Ink, and so this cream just kind of ties that in. And then I'm using Memento Tuxedo Black, and the reason I'm going with black instead of a brown is because my main sentiment, which I will show you in a minute, was a digital stamp that I purchased from Rosebud Crafts, and I'll put the link in the blog post so that you could go take a look at that. And it was a very inexpensive stamp. It was 75 cents to download it, and then I can play with the size. And rather than change the color of printing on that, I went ahead and printed it in black. So I wanted to use my stamping in black as well. So let's get started. So I've got my congratulations all on my stamp pad and ready to go. I've already cut my cream, and you'll see how quick this card is going together now that I have it all designed and stuff. So this is that original card. And this is the one that I made to be my base. Now, one thing on these cards is that they come with little tick marks or score marks. And honestly, I was going to try to hide one set of them, not both of them. And I didn't have time to mess with it to figure out how to hide it. I thought I was pretty good at hiding the contours in the craft room, but for some reason I couldn't hide these particular craft rooms. So maybe you're not able to, I don't know. But I actually wanted them in there because that's what I'm going to be using to join my two pieces together anyway. So one thing that I noticed with this, when I closed the card, is you have all this white showing that I didn't want to show. So I'll show you how I fix that in just a second. Now this is the second card, and like I said, I just stretched it on the Cricut craft room and made it so that it fits, but on the width wise, but on the height wise it's a little bit smaller. And then what I'm going to do is join them together, so you'll see that coming through. So it's a double layered card. Now if I wanted to, I could put a little bit of ATG in here, but I decided I didn't want to. So I'm going to set that side apart, that part aside, and finish off this first. So what I did is I cut a little strip of the coordinating paper for the other card, and it's 1 inch wide, and I cut it the width of the card. And actually I tried to cut them a little bit wide just in case my size was off a little bit, and it wasn't too bad. And if I'm off the camera, I apologize. I'm just taping up my little strip here. And so I want it to definitely be sure and cover the one side, and then I'll go back through with my scissors and trim it off. And actually this one's not going to need to be trimmed off, so that's okay. So this is where I'm going to stamp my congratulations. I'm going to stamp it right here. With this particular color, with the green color choice, the black is a really nice match. I would have liked brown probably better for the brown color choice, which I'll show you in a minute, but I just did them both in black. So this is the Memento Tuxedo Black, and it just is simple. It says congratulations, and the inside of my card is done. I'm ready to move on. So I'm going to go ahead and layer these up now. Well, before I do, let's go ahead and finish off this card. So for this card, I took, this is the digital stamp, and I printed it, and I just kind of played with it until it was the right size to fit in right here. Honestly, I don't even know what size that is. Let's see. I cut my vintage cream to be, it's not even a clean size, about 2 5/8 wide by about 3 1/8 tall. And then the other two colors I layered with each of the same. So I layered this next, and I just barely left a tiny border, didn't measure, just cut it. And then this is the bottom. So we've got the layers going and mimicking it. And I have to say, this makes for a really nice heavy filling card, which to me makes it feel like it's well crafted when it's got that extra weight. I just like the feel of the weight. It just gives that extra richness to it. So there we have that. You see how easy, once the card was designed, how easy it is to put together. So now this is where I'm going to go through with my ribbon, and I'm going to put that side through the slit, and then I'm also going to put my other side through the slit. Give me just a second. I was watching TV earlier. I guess I won't turn it off. Sorry about that. Try not to have a lot of background noise. So I pull this through just like that, and then I'm going to pull them both through the second layer, so that's the nice part, is this makes it really easy to layer. Fingers don't want to work right now, but normally it makes it really easy to layer. There we go. There's that remote. So now we have this, and I just want to be sure I have it all lined up straight because the only thing really that's going to hold it together is going to be the bow that I make, but I want it to be offset. I don't want it in the middle because it'll cover too much of my phrase, my sentiment, my memory verse that talks about plans, which I think is very appropriate for graduation. Actually, my daughter is also graduating this year, and she has chosen that verse in many of her decorations, and in her announcement she wanted it on there. So that's kind of where I got the idea from. So we're just going to put that on the side, and it's just kind of a sloppy bow. I'm not going to go through and make it perfect, although I do want it to be a little, you know, looking neat, but I don't, it's definitely not going to be, I'm using it, since it is a more masculine card, and the way this one's laying, sometimes you just play with them. And this is one I'm going to play with, and I'm just going to slide it over so that it's on the other side. And you'll see in some of the other ones that I did that I had one of them was on this side as well, and some of the others are on the other side. So there we have our bow, and I'll play with that in a little bit more and cut it and get it all trimmed off. But let me show you the other ones I had. So this is the other green one that I made, the same, and then these are the brown ones that I made, and I really kind of like the brown ones a lot. Just the same exact design, same exact card, pretty simple. So basically it took 2 pieces of paper, well 3 when you count the 8.5 by 11 vintage cream paper, but I used 3 pieces of paper and ended up with 4 complete, very substantially thick cards. And so there we have my graduation cards for this year, at least for the men. So thanks so much for stopping by, and remember to take some time to enjoy the little things. Have a great day. Bye.